Hey, what's up everyone? AJ Writes Crypto here, coming to you live from Bitcoin Miami 2023. And this entire experience has just been completely surreal. This entire week has just been a dream. We woke up this morning and saw, Eric Weinstein from the intellectual dark web, say his piece about Bitcoin, and just it's such an intelligent guy. And then to go from like him being in a really high matrix to listening to the tribal mindset of like the Max Kaiser. And don't get me wrong, I love Bitcoin, but that doesn't mean you should shun everyone who likes Ethereum or Cardano. We're really all in the same boat here. And so make it so we're arguing against each other is counterproductive, but I do see some of his points and I respect him, but at the same time, we should all be friends, to be honest. But anyways, so Tim Warren is one of the newer employees at BitBoy Crypto, and him and I had this really good conversation about the surrealness of this whole situation. And his question to me was, if you could go back in time 1 year ago, what are 5 things you would tell yourself? And I actually took a really good bit of time to chew on that conversation we had. And I wanted to share with you what those 5 things are. So the first piece of advice, and the reason it's the first piece of advice, because I think it's probably the most important, is slow down. What's the rush? No big deal. Just because you miss a pump doesn't mean it's the end of the world. Just because you didn't get in on a meme coin doesn't mean you're never going to have generational wealth. Slow down. You don't have to get rich overnight. Yes, it does happen. It happens to people in this room, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen to you, because you can be more strategic and more realistic about this and still make it happen in due time. And a part of that with taking your time to do this the right way is to not kind of go into the room and chat everyone's ear off. Go into the room and listen more than you talk. Take that time to learn. When you slow down, you take your time. Take that time to learn. And that brings me to point number 2, is to never be the smartest person in the room. Okay? So when, if you're out there in the world somewhere and you are the only crypto person in your group of friends, you need to do some serious networking, and you need to get a circle of people around you to do this with. Crypto is very, very difficult. If you're watching this video because you've chosen to, I'm gonna go full-time crypto, I'm really gonna do this thing, I'm gonna make it. If you feel that way right now watching this video, you have to surround yourself by people that are doing the same thing, that have the same goals. Never be the smartest person in the room, because if you are, you will hit a ceiling. Crypto is difficult, and I could not imagine doing crypto by myself. Absolutely not. Because if you are looking at a chart and you want to get into a trade, well, you should run that chart by a friend. You should say, hey, is this a good idea or a bad idea? Have a conversation with someone before you get wrecked. I'm telling you, having a good circle around you is everything. It's very important. Having a good circle around you is very important, and community is everything. Before I get to point number 3, thank you to stake.com for sponsoring this video. Point number 3 is to live in a higher matrix. I want you to know that your words are more powerful than you think. And the most important conversation you can have is with yourself. Okay? I was one of those people that said, I always lose when I do this. Oh, this always happens to me. Why can't I ever win? These very, this or that black and white mentality. That is not it. You have to have positive self-talk. You have to believe in yourself and your abilities. And you do that by having positive interactions with yourself. You have to cut out all that negative talk. You have to stop making excuses, and you have to start, and that comes with taking your time and being surrounded by positive people. And when you do that, you feel better about yourself, because if there's no rush and it's all good, you have time to actually reflect and to feel good about the things you're doing. And that's the thing. If you're not winning, it's not because you have bad luck. It's because you haven't done the work to believe in yourself and your own abilities. Really think about that. Okay, so this next point here is, I got this quote from my girlfriend, Jada. She's the best. And she actually wrote it down for me, and I have it on my keyboard at work, so I always look at it when I'm writing a script or whatever I'm doing, and it's a constant reminder to keep myself going. And that quote is, the best way to predict your future is to create it. I absolutely love that quote. And so what do I mean by create it? I mean manifest what you want. Like, your dreams will only ever be dreams if they only exist in your head. You need to write that down. You need to make it real. I love that story with Jim Carrey, when Jim Carrey wrote himself a check for $1 million. He made it real. Even though he couldn't go cash it in and get $1 million, by writing it down, he set that intention. He manifested his reality. He made it real. And guess what? And not too long after that, Jim Carrey is who we know today. So take a page out of his book, and if you have big dreams, if you have big ideas, if you want to make it, write it down. Make it happen, and at least you can see it on paper. You make it physical, it enters the physical realm and no longer just exists in your own head. So when you do that, that's when you have to start prioritizing your goals. And when you prioritize your goals and you prioritize your time, like, listen, when I was studying in crypto, let me tell you a little story about myself. I broke my left arm racing motocross, and I broke it in half. I have a rod in my left arm that will be there when I die. And by the time my fingers started working again, COVID happened. And that was the amount of time I spent studying crypto day in and day out. And when I mean studying crypto, I mean I wrote down, I planned every minute of every day exactly what I was going to do. I set my goal, I figured out the time I need to study, and I did it, and I stuck to it every day. Not only did I, create my goal and make it real and manifest it, but I was also disciplined enough to follow through with the goal I wanted to achieve. And that is how I was able to get to where I am today, because I made it real. And this brings us to point number 5. Probably the most important point besides point number 1. And point number 5 is to chase your dreams. Listen, the clock is ticking. So you have to live with complete abandon. If you're going after whatever it is you're going after, don't make excuses. Make it happen. Give it your 100%. Because if you don't do that, you're not gonna make it. It's as simple as that. I don't wanna be rude. I don't wanna be that guy, but I'm saying that you have to give it your all if you want to make it in crypto. And when I first got into crypto, probably 2016, 2017, I dilly-dallied around. I did this, I did that, but I wasn't actually trying. I wasn't actually putting in the work and learning. It took, me breaking my arm and kind of being put in a pressure situation for me to realize what I had to do to make this real. And here we are, Bitcoin Miami. It is possible. If I can make it, you can make it. But if you want to make it, you have to chase your dreams. My name is AJ Writes Crypto, and have yourself a great rest of your day.